You are now watching Mind You Media.
Mind you!
We can't use that. We don't have the rights. You are now streaming Mind You Media.
And that's my issue with Mia too. What she would do is say, "Well, that's why you slept with your cousin's best
Yes.
friend's husband."
Yep. That's actually she was giving me Mia talking to Jacqueline at the dinner, talking to Karen
Yes.
this moment. It's like,
Yes.
oh, that's that nasty Mia who forgot that she's contrite about what she did to Jacqueline when she was at the sexual assault event. Now you're back in full
Yep.
force.
Yep. Don't ever think Mia is a real friend to you because she is holding your shit in a vault to dangle it over. That is definition of a non-friend. Okay.
She's incapable.
That
Just
shit in
as
the
soon as
vault.
you meet her, you already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, Ashley too, right?
Ashley
But
too. Yep.
both 7.
They recognize each other.
Two peas in a pod.
Okay. Oh, he parkoured.
His window seat fell.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Yes. Poor Achilles. I think he was trying to usher us into the next segment, actually.
he really was. He said, "Get a move on."
He's gonna get those stank faces off.
What happens, okay, is the next day we wake up, Candace calls Chris, she's wearing her sunglasses, ladies start with breakfast, okay? And at breakfast, Ellen pointed it out to me earlier that production is up to their same old dirty tricks. So would you like to clue us in?
Yeah, okay. So for some reason, no, I guess it's possible that, well, we need to talk about their various wordless. You know how they do these little montages before they get into the like interaction of a given scene. Yeah, so Wendy's meditating, Candace is calling Chris with sunglasses and bonnet. Karen is at the table. I don't know where Karen is to begin with.
Karen and Kiana are sitting in the little open seating living area.
Oh, right. And maybe
Karen
is typing on something. Okay,
hey,
so
how you
then,
doing, Miss Karen?
So Mia, Giselle, and NECA are outside in the front, I think, on the loungers. And Mia is like, so where did that come from last night with Karen? And Giselle is like, you know what it was? From last year. That's how you know you already done gone wrong. It's from last year, girl. Your issue, like, no. 2 episodes ago, you called her an old dog. She called you a trick. So anyway, Giselle's account is that Karen continues to hold a grudge against you from last year when you offered a comforting shoulder to Wendy, who was being assaulted by Mia.
That
transparent as hell. Giselle is so transparent. This is just her way of being like, Mia, I know you're mad at Karen, but let's go ahead and reshift gears and throw Wendy into it too. Leave her name out your mouth. It has nothing to do with this.
What was that about though? When they jumped back to that clip when they were in Miami, that was before the incident with the drink at the table, right? Or was that?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was afterwards because remember, Candace, Karen, and Ashley were still meeting up with Wendy, who was staying at a nearby hotel because she refused to come back to the house that Mia was hosting at. So Mia is saying, Karen, you're ruining the dynamics of the trip by trying to play nice with Wendy.
Yep.
Literally that baseless, idiotic defense was what they flashed back to. And what Giselle
invoked?
That's what Giselle was trying to invoke. That's why she's saying. And so then she pivots the narrative. It's because she brought you in, so she doesn't like you going against her. And it all started from Miami last year. If that isn't the goddamn pot calling the kettle black, you are the one who has a strict and rigid sense of guidelines for what your loyal subjects should do. And they abide willingly, clearly.
Yep.
So this other nonsense Wendy is not deluded enough to think she's in charge of any of the women up here, okay? She might be deluded about many things. This ain't it. So cut
Yes.
all
And
that noise out.
to your point, though, about Giselle pointing the finger when she's doing these things, right? Her refrain is one that is constant. We see again and again. She goes, "That's not friendship," talking
Mm-hmm.
about Karen and Mia. Okay, Giselle, how
Mm-hmm.
are you a friend to any of these women? Okay.
Including Robin. You're not even a friend to Robin. Look at you. Got her out here strung up looking crazy. So
You know what? To take it back to the opening of the episode in the Zakiya Jackson citation, it's like it's not even about friendship for Giselle. It's just about being able to like call it out and measure it up and decide who's doing it well and who isn't. It's just about
exactly.
authorship and authority. It's like
Exactly.
you
Just
don't care.
self-authorization. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
1000%. Giselle must authorize herself as the one pulling the strings, the overseer, the one in charge. And it's the overseer, it's not the master, because let's be clear, Andy Cohen's the
Andy.
master.
Mhm.
Giselle is merely the overseer. If Mia want to invoke, oh, I'm your slave, Karen, let's actually distribute the roles on the plantation as they are being carried out, shall we?
Mhm.
We shall.
NECA's overseer in training. Anyway, so then cut to the breakfast table. Mia then is like pretending to be Karen's supplicant on her knees. Yes, master. What is it that you want? Anyway, so then they cut to Giselle reflecting on something that actually would have been better placed in last night's dinner. Did y'all peep that?
Mm-mm.
She's talking about, so Wendy and Wendy and Candace were making faces when I was talking about my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter. So I'm not talking to those people. Okay, first of all, already that we're getting that intervention, that confessionals moment right now in the daytime doesn't make sense. We all know the confessional happens in the future. So what the question is, why is production placing it in the morning the following day rather than at dinner? Very interesting. Immediately after Giselle says those people, production cuts to Wendy sitting at the head of the breakfast table. Okay, she recently woken up, didn't have her makeup on yet. She's going like this. Just one of those stare off into space moments, but it's an unflattering shot. Okay. And they cut to it precisely. Giselle says those people, and then they cut back to Giselle's confessional moment where she goes, and they got stank faces anyway. Please, y'all. Please. Please.
Yes. So they cut to the face before production, being the they, before Giselle says stank face. So we, the viewers, are already looking at Wendy saying, "Oh, look at that face," thinking, something like that. And then that's confirmed. Giselle's unflattering, like, insult to Wendy seems like, confirming something that we've experienced, conclusions we've made ourselves.
It's like one of those nasty, like quick tricks where it's just like, you just like nod like, oh yeah, her face was so, wait, what? Like, wait.
Yeah, it makes you think, I know what she's talking about. But in fact, we don't know what she's talking about.
So it's like the magic of the production, right? And as we noted when we were talking about this earlier, had she said those people and they got stank faces anyway, and then they cut to Wendy's face, it would have been more obvious what they were doing. Okay, because you pan to Wendy's face right after Giselle says stank faces, and it's just Wendy in the morning. It's just Wendy making a blank stare out into the distance. Then it would have been glaring what you all are doing. But she says those people, features Wendy's, blank stare. And then she says, and their stank faces. Okay.
I would love to do an analysis of a facial analysis just to see who production plays most in a quiet moment. Whose face are they getting? Because I know everybody's face will look crazy if you're being filmed 24/7. But it's like, it would be very easy to make Karen's face look crazy, for example.
And they did. Actually, they did. You know why they did? Because Giselle narrated it as such. So in other words, production will present the visuals for us to corroborate Giselle's narrative. And how convenient that we shored up this account right now of Giselle's self-authorization.
Yep.
right? Like she is the official, she is the overseer. It is her narration that prevails as the truth, the account of what's actually happening. Because Giselle says it's so funny when Karen tries to act like she's not bothered, because then her face gets extra witchy. They pan to Karen's, nose scrunching up and therefore the point going down.
Yeah.
And then her wig starts shifting. They pan to Wendy
Indeed.
smoothing down Karen's hair.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is why she persists. Like, they make her worse. They are making her like, if she was tolerable and like kind of halfway pleasant and funny in the earlier seasons, it's like their anti-blackness has like allowed her to continue to aggrandize her sense of influence over the show to its detriment. Oh my God. Oh my
And
God.
not even allowed. I feel like they've cultivated this thing, like anybody who wants to be on a reality TV show already has a certain pick me potential, to be, whatever, do something to be recorded. Okay. And they really capitalized on that in Giselle's case.
Yeah, but Giselle doesn't have to be the pick me. The rest are left to be the pick me's because Giselle is the boss. She's the one who does the choosing, and the
Right.
production makes it so. And like, this is important because right now, I mean, a lot of people are dissatisfied with the season, rightfully so. But I do find that there is a difficulty in naming what exactly is so unsettling about the trajectory of the season, because we are getting conflicts. That's not new. That part's not new. Like, even cliquey behavior is not new, neither here nor in, the landmark franchise, Atlanta. That part is not new. What is new, what is glaring is we get very little of the way the conversations actually play out. There's a we're being force fed something, and there's a like palpable feeling of that. Like, I don't know what's happening. I'm confused. You're just like shoving a narrative in my face, and it's discrediting some people and vindicating some people that I already have a strong sense those people are malicious and they move nasty. So why does it look like the story is playing out in a way that makes them vindicated?
Yep.
Okay, like people can't always name that that's what they're experiencing. It's like you have to watch it closely and with a certain attention to power and the way production has a heavy hand in authorizing and undermining whichever cast members they decide to. So when people are quick to say like, yeah, I mean, frankly, calls to get Giselle off, yeah, why not? I'm endorsing that 1000%. But if we want to really point to who is responsible, who is at fault for the way the season has been unrolled, it's production. Because Giselle is nothing but a real life person, nothing but an 8 you might find down the street, nothing but a light-skinned woman with green eyes you might find at your local institution, at work, at school, at wherever. Okay, Robin is nothing but a thirsty sidekick who, these are real people. We can point to people just like them in real life. There is nothing exceptionally bad about their behavior. Their behavior is very fucking bad. Like, let it be clear, but it's not exceptional, by which I mean it's not unique. We all live and move among people who are like this. People who are like all of these women.
It's not even spectacular. And I think that's what people know when they're like, this isn't luxury. It's because you literally could know these people because you do know these people.
Exactly. The problem is when some get authorized, and it's actually still reflective of dynamics that we experience every day, right? It's not like the problem is Giselle's outsized power. People like Giselle who signify to the ones with actual power, like, A, you can trust me. B, I'll play your game. C, I believe and am invested in the same things as you. They're authorizing that. Okay. Yeah. Giselle is colorist. Some people, it's not. Even Candace said, I don't believe the cat. You're wrong, Candace. Okay. Well, love you, but you're wrong. Giselle has expressly, as people even remember, expressly named her colorism in her taglines in seasons past.
Never forget. The key to this case is staying in the shade.
The language is always, the language is always coded and unequivocal still when you read it, right? So what that does, and it's like, look who is in charge of things, okay? Andy, the white gay. If you have ever had dealings with a white gay as a Black woman, you know they are lit to dictate what is acceptable for you to do. If you play the role well, you'll get rewarded. If you don't, and what's the role? Be beautiful and shit on the ones we say are not beautiful. And that's by Andy's standards. And Andy is a reflection of dominant white supremacist logics. So they go, Giselle's the beautiful one. Okay. So Giselle's authorized to do whatever she wants. And the ones who we don't appreciate, the ones who seem uppity, with an asterisk, because we'll come back to uppity Negroes and what uppity Negroes do, then that's who we're punishing. So it's not Giselle's fault. I mean, in a grander sense, it's not Giselle's fault that the season is going to shits. It's production's fault. Production makes Giselle think, if I pout, if I fold my arms, if I cold shoulder these women all season long, I won't see them next season.
Yeah. Production has taught her that.
Yes, they put the battery in her back. She thinks my word is law.
Yes, she does.
And I think that it's important to note, I saw this article earlier today about people boycotting the season, and what they specifically said, cited as reasons, is that it is uncomfortable and boring. How can something be uncomfortable and boring at the same time? I think that speaks so much to how bad production is.
Yep. And you're right. It's actually like weird that it's like, it's boring if you don't want to do the analysis to name what's happening, right? Because it's like, you're giving me a lot of nothing. And that's exactly what they're doing. The boring part is that you won't let me see the conversations play out.
Exactly.
You won't let us see the convos. You won't let us see the relationships. You won't let us see the hobbies that the women have in their real lives. You won't let us see anything.
You keep taking us to so many places, and not just destinations, but like those two, you keep taking us all these places where we get to see nothing happen. So then it's like, I'm disoriented. I'm bored. There's nothing going on, but there's
they're invested in one or two storylines, right? They're invested because they have an agenda. The agenda is get rid of Wendy. The investment is paint Wendy in as ugly a light as possible. The investment is in get rid of Candace. Paint Candace in as ugly a light as possible. That's boring. That's what people find boring, is that it's like the storyline is not dynamic. I feel like I just keep getting this thing over and over again. You won't give us what actually transpires. You won't give us the movement of power, the resistance to the power, none of it.
Won't give us like the undermining of the professed narrative that the women have. Like, oh, okay, Ashley is healing and thriving. Y'all are filming her with her confidence coach, but we can't see that?
Yes.
Because she gets to authorize the account of what's happening to her with no contestation from the production. Can I see for myself how she's healing and be like, girl, you tried it. No, you're not.
Yes, even if the confidence coach doesn't want to be recorded, and everyone will get to the confidence coach in a moment, but it's like, we should see her get to the place where, you know what, I need coaching. Just that alone would have been a big thing. Like, hello.
Had to agree because we saw her face in the clip.
They want, because production wants to produce caricatures, and the rest of us want to watch people in their dynamism, in their full complexity. Please. They also help Giselle be flat for that reason. She 100%. Says, if I frown, if I pout, if I bully all season long, so it encourages her to give us one lane. That's it. Protect herself, protect her personal, be invulnerable, and launch and pursue this agenda to get these women out. They're helping her flatten herself. Dance, little puppet. She's not the one with power. Here's
a question.
She has power insofar as she advances an anti-Black agenda.
Okay, but Giselle, so that's right, and that feels like it explains how the show has gotten to this point. Giselle is both now boring, invulnerable, not dynamic, and she's not so cute anymore as she ages. Don't hear me say what I'm not saying. Like, Karen looks great at 666. So age does not need to equal ugly, but Giselle's ugliness is coming from her getting miserable and sustaining just a nasty like temperament that's about making everybody else as miserable as she is. And so it's like, if production and the team at Bravo or whatever are holding on to Giselle as like the emblem of beautiful woman, not no more.
Yes, and let me just exactly when Ellen was talking about Andy authorizing her as the pretty, it's like that doesn't no longer jives with reality. You know, we are being force fed this thing that it's like we're not even seeing
Well,
now.
beauty was never a function of reality either, right? In our dominant standards, it is literally
Well, that's
just
true.
that which abides by a European convention. So
Mhm.
just light skin and light eyes will do it. Just light skin, light eyes, light hair. That's it. Karen could be, but her eyes are brown. Sorry.
I was like, what are you gonna say?
That's it. That's the fucking logic. That's
All
the
right, let me
logic.
tell you. Let me say this
Kathy.
thing quickly, and then we're moving on.
Okay.
When Ellen talks about the flattening of Giselle, of course, I'm thinking of Wendy Williams. Okay.
Ugh.
And I really feel like I was listening to Charlemagne clip the other day, and he was like, the misery that you're seeing now in the documentaries and this and that and that. A lot of us saw it a long time ago, you know?
Mm. Okay, Charlemagne. I'm
Oh.
surprised by that level of.
There were numerous times in this, I was like, yes, agreeing with him. He said that. He was like, I don't think this should have been shown. I don't think she would have wanted
Yeah.
it shown.
Yeah.
But, and did y'all see the clip where Black China was like, I love you?
Mhm.
And then Wendy goes, so do I. And then Charlemagne goes, well, that reminds me of the real Wendy right there. That's can't return like saying that she loves someone.
Mm.
So he was saying that her like personality and demeanor has just been so nasty her whole life that this is
Yeah, this convenient narrative of frontal, because the point is not to undermine the diagnosis. The diagnosis is merely descriptive of behavior that has. It's like, when did you do brain imaging a decade ago? Because you might have also seen the brain reflect that lobe was shrunken, was atrophied.
Yes.
If there is a relationship between that lobe and empathy, it might have been atrophied back then, by the way, because Wendy has always been an apathetic person.
Well, and that's the thing, is that part of this diagnosis is that your inhibitions are gone. And so she's saying these miserable things that it's like she used to know to keep in.
Mm-hmm.
or keep away from the point of destination and maybe talk about to other people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right. Well, back to the breakfast table.
How can
Yes.
you tell?
Yes, from the Breakfast Club to the breakfast table.
Ooh, look at you. Look at you. But I think that's pretty much all that happens at breakfast. So we can pivot to answer the damn question.
Answer the damn question.
Yeah, okay. So leave it to Robin. Robin was kind of, kind of reminds me of Candy a little bit. How it's like sometimes like she's will have these moments where she wants to be really open with sex, and you wouldn't actually expect her to be, given, you know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because the way she likes to be like, yeah, but Candy never does it in a way that's just like, that's embarrassing for you. Because probably like, I swallow. What are you swallowing?
It's not embarrassing for Candy, but it is that moment like, oh, sex toy line. Oh, okay. You know, like,
Yeah.
so I felt,
Robin doesn't seem empowered, if one could say that about Candy. Like, if
Mhm.
one could say that about Candy, one
If.
definitely can't say it about Robin. Okay.
yes. So yeah, she didn't seem like the type of person that would want to play, what is this game called? Answer the damn question. And they're all
Mhm.
questions that she wrote.
She wrote them all, including the
Yeah.
one for herself.
Yeah.
I wondered about that.
How did they choose? Yeah, was the question did it dictate who it was to go to, or
Yes, she had some general questions, and then she had some women-specific questions.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So remember when she wore the outfit to pickleball and we were like, Robbie, you tried it. You want everybody to think that your man wants you. If she
Mhm.
directed that question to herself, that was another instance.
Yes.
Wait, she asked
What?
that question?
If she made the question about what fantasy Juan has and
Oh.
addressed it to herself, that would be another instance of her
She
trying
at
to.
least
Oh, okay,
knew
right.
the possibilities of questions that could come to her, you know.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I have questions for y'all about that question, or should we start from the beginning of the questions?
I don't have a preference. I don't
Not
remember what
too much.
order.
The only thing I noted in the gameplay was that it looked like Wendy Candace and to a lesser degree, Kiarna were having a rollicking good time. And the camera kept cutting to Giselle laughing in amusement. And I was just like, girl, look at you. You can't even sustain your misery in the face of such real, authentic fun, can you? There's such a good time, right?
Robin couldn't either, which we've seen her like crack under the pressure by Giselle to, keep these women as enemies. She was just like, candy ass. She calls her, okay, that sounds like you're her friend.
Sounds like,
yes,
somebody tweeted that though. Somebody tweeted the analysis we had that somebody literally said verbatim, like, "Ooh, I can tell Robin wants to be friends with Candace and Wendy so bad, but she made her bed too deep with Giselle, so she has to be miserable."
I have something to say. I've never had this to say before, but I have a fashion offering. Okay.
Oh, I know what it is.
Wait, no, this is for the worst look. I hated Giselle's hat. I hated it.
Oh, I love that hat.
I knew someone in here was gonna love it. She looked like Paddington Bear.
Was it Prada? Was it Prada or Fendi?
Yes, it was the Prada. I hated the Prada hat.
I love that. It's basically a straw bucket hat, but like, I love that hat. I said,
no, she was trying to make her unbothered faces in the hat. I could not.
It won't be Prada. It'll be Blada, but I'm gonna wear it. It's gonna be cute. Okay.
Did you think that I was gonna compliment Karen's outfit?
Yes, it was the best. It was the best. I said, go ahead, organza overlay. Go ahead. It's so beautiful.
Booty, like
Karen better do it.
Cute. It was so cute.
And did it not harken back to the Mother's Day outfit where she had a pink dress?
Yes. Sheer is Karen's color, okay?
I love it.
Okay, but we can take up this one question specifically, or if we're starting from the beginning of the questions that I'm interested in asking y'all about, we could start at the first one I'm interested in, which is NECA. Now, okay, so I think the question is posed to NECA, like, among whose husbands would you want to sleep with? The answer she gives us, like, she says this part kind of quietly. It might sound like she just lands on Juan, but the answer she gives us is, it's between G and Juan. Like, whoever comes at me correct, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I don't think she necessarily says between G or Juan, but whoever comes, and then she goes, G or Juan, who knows? But
no, she says it's between G and Juan.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. She says that part. Like, these are my choices. Mm-hmm. These are the relevant men to consider. Mm-hmm. Okay.
We named all the other options just so we're clear about who she's not choosing here to consider.
Okay. Ashley, divorced, on her way to divorce. Okay. So she don't have no husband right now. Karen, happily married for 75 years. Okay. to one Ray Huger. That was a viable candidate. Giselle, without a man. Okay. Robin, newly married to Juan during penis. Third, Candace.
Medium amount of married.
Married as of the amount of seasons she's been on here now, 4 years, to one Christopher. Okay. And then Wendy. Married for we don't know how long because we didn't see their marriage, to the finest husband on the cast.
No contest.
Easy. Now, you had asked this question season 1. Juan would have been that.
It would have been Juan. Eddie wasn't there yet.
Oh yeah, well Wendy wasn't on. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Wendy wasn't there yet. So and we had never seen Sharice's husband. Okay, so these are the relevant players, and she chooses out G and Juan. It's like, Ellen, are you offended that she didn't say Chris or Ray or Eddie? No, because for me, I would have included Juan. I would have thought about Ray. Okay, all right. Little sweetie pie, and Chris, but it would have been Eddie. at the end of the day, right? Juan's looks have faded. Let us be clear now.
Thoroughly.
But she doesn't say any of the ones, like even Karen. Why? Okay, fine. Ray is old. We could potentially excuse that. But to pass over, you're married to a Nigerian man. Here go one who is sexier than your husband right there. What is it? If it's about preference, it ain't about preference. What Nneka let slip is whose team she's batting for. She said the only relevant people on this cast are those who Giselle authorizes. Giselle ain't got no man herself, so it must be Robin, Mia, and Ashley is divorced. She said only the light-skinned wives' husbands count.
I have a question. Do you think that given how she's trying to patch things up with Wendy, she felt like I can't say like I'm trying to sleep with your man?
It would have been a compliment. It would have been a compliment.
I think it is. I think that's what it is. I think it's obvious. Eddie's the one, so she knows she brings him up and says, I mean, Eddie, no, I want to save him. Okay. I don't want to marry
in the confessionals. Yeah.
It's like, Eddie's on the mind because he's fine, obviously. But you can't concede to Wendy. She already played your face last episode in y'all sit down. So you can't concede further that you have that fine man and you have
and he's in the same age group and he's in the same, everything about him is obviously him.
It makes no sense, literally. Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to say that G is not attractive. I think G probably has a handsome face if I really were to look at him, but G just turns me off. Like, he turns me off. Like, maybe it's his old man, big belly, but I think it's actually just my sense that he's kind of like that kind of patriarch who might also raise a backhand.
I mean,
he turns
y'all
me off.
remember
I can't think of him like that.
In the Chesapeake trip 2 years ago, he was also like groping and being inappropriate.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to bring up the tongue.
That's what turned me off.
The tongue. Now he's become, because I forgot what his tongue looked like. But the tongue was wrong. Okay.
And it's like under other circumstances, the tongue could be welcomed. But he was letting it out to Karen and she didn't ask for it. And I said, if you're going to show your tongue when nobody asks for it, I don't.
And this is your first season. Like
his tongue was this big. Okay. The tongue was this big.
Yeah, something in his eye. It's like a little glint of mischief. I don't want it.
He's in the hallway. He's in the foyer with that tongue out. It was horrible.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay.
Now we see him taking care of the kids, but that's not always what
it's a cover. It's a cover story. It's a cover.
Okay, but quick, Kristen, fuck, marry, kill all the husbands. Go, including the ones where they are separated and divorced.
Wait, I can't use those, or I can.
You can.
Included.
Okay, I'm fucking Juan. I'm marrying Eddie, and I'm killing Michael Darby.
Mine would definitely be fuck Eddie, marry Ray. Kill Michael.
And you'll get his fortune because he's on his way out, I'm sure.
That's true. We would have a nice life.
I'm doing a little bit of all of y'all. I don't want one anymore. Anymore. I definitely fucking Eddie. Probably marrying Chris because he's the ninth of my eight. Yeah.
And then too. I do like his food.
Yeah, Chris. He just like flaming hot Cheetos, a meal.
He used Megan the Stallion, apparently has a hot Cheeto brand or flavor. And he's like, thanks, Megan. And puts
no, I take it back. I'll marry Chris. I just won't have sex.
No.
I can't dispel the image of slavery. So I'll just.
Unfortunately, you are a fucking one. And you don't know how that's gonna go.
Well, it'll be one. It's gonna be a one and done.
Karen might get in there too.
Okay, I'm also obviously killing Michael Darby.
I know. I really tried to think let me switch it up.
Michael Darby without the prompt of the game.
Yeah, he's gonna croak before we reach him anyways. So
I would like to see him die.
I'm also killing Ashley Whittam. How about that?
Throw her in there as well. Okay. A 2 for 1. Yes. Okay. Just second question on the subject of Wandering Dixon. His fetish, by the way, this is not a fetish, Robin. Like, this is a fantasy. Like, I think you missed the assignment that you produced. But I want to hear from y'all. What? Because people like it is all the time the case that people will be like, oh, this is my preference, and then they want it to remain untouched, right? Like your preference is not also a function of like your psychological fixations, traumas you're working
No one
down.
can be judged for their preference, is how it's always spoken.
That's the hope, right? And it's like, we don't have to judge you, but we can surely understand from whence your preference arises. Okay. So y'all, can I get some speculations on the psychological place from which Juan is drawing this desire to see Robin sleep with someone else, man or woman?
Okay, part of me thinks that he is trying to just push her away. He knows she's not interested, and he's really just, and she'll get tired of it and leave.
Okay.
Okay, my sense is he kind of regards her asexually, even if they have sex from time to time. And I think like if he could see her intensely activated in sex, it would make him think that she's enlivened in a way that he just does not experience her as.
I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm
That
pretty
makes
sure
me sad
that's
for
the one I
him.
landed on. That is the one I definitely landed on. That one. He's like, who will turn you on?
Yeah.
Like, you choose. You
Yeah.
choose.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. Okay, the other one is a humiliation kink, right? Like, and a humiliation kink is about a sense of yourself as like, okay, it comes from two different directions sometimes. Like from those with seeming power who now want to be debased, right? Like this is the white man into BDSM who wants to play the slave while the black woman plays the master. That's that type. And then there is a sense, and and then there is the place it comes from, the cuckold. Okay, I mean the cuckold and that white man are often one and the same, but
The
the cuckold.
stag. Who was just saying that? Who else on the show?
We were talking about it. We were talking about it last week.
What about whom?
I was watching Ready to Love.
Oh, for whatever reason, I thought we were talking about Gordon, and then I was
no, we were talking about Gordon because there was a man who reminded me of Gordon who called the thing a stag. We were probably talking about Gordon, but I learned from that man it was called the stag, whereas I would have called it cuckold.
Yes,
okay,
I think that's the common, parlance.
Yes, so stag/cuckold, two sides of the same coin.
Stag is the cuckold, or is stag the one the cuckold observes the partner with?
No, stag is the cuckold because that's why they're alone.
Yeah, stag is the reframe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, because it sounds like more empowered than cuck.
Exactly. Yeah. You're just reframing cuckold. And cuckold has its own category of porn, so it's like you won't get the same hits, okay? so I think it could be the cuckold fantasy where it's just like I want to feel like, I want an expression of what I feel like internally, which is kind of like a loser. I do think Juan suffers with self-esteem, and that could be part of a motivation. And also because like there's a sense from him like, she gives me too much power. Robin gives me way too much power in this relationship, and it's a way to like offload the burden or the guilt I feel at how much power I have in relation to her. Or for her to finally live out the role that I feel her to be the one who plays the role of the man, emotionally unavailable, avoidant, like nonchalant about this or that. So now I want to see her in a moment of passion. I want to see her in a moment of passion to see, do you have emotions there? Or I want to see her live the kind of authority I feel her have over my life.
Okay, I feel convinced because at first, when Robin reveals this, it to me feels very, well, I was shocked. So I just felt like he didn't fit like what I imagined a cuck persona to be,
Yeah.
So this is helpful.
I mean, the piece about her giving him power too explains why he cheats. Because it's like, okay, girl, if you're gonna keep making me the agential one in the pairing, I'm gonna keep embarrassing you because you allow it. And so maybe the desire is like about seeing like, okay, you can have some power too if you are with somebody. Like you can have desire and pursue it and enjoy, and like you're not just a sad little debased person who gives all your power away.
Yeah, and to remind people watching, Robin's primary source of power comes from managing the household, being the income earner, and pulling that young Black boy up out of the ghetto, as she will have liked to narrate in her younger years. So
yeah, I it's so crazy as this season goes on. I keep just being shocked thinking about how they were considering having another child.
good.
Girl, no less. He said, I
Yes,
got my
a
2 boys, I
girl.
want my girl.
Just last season, that was a major consideration. All
Mhm.
right, let's go on to our final scene. They are hanging out at the beach club. Okay, what goes on there? What goes on?
Lion ass Mia, lion ass Mia, lion ass Mia, stay lying. That's all she do.
First
And
at
this is
lunch.
they have lunch, and this is when we see the pathology really come out. Okay, with the
Oh my God.
lies.
Okay, but I thought of a potential. Mia's lies always draw from the truth of her life. Y'all notice
Well,
that? Yeah.
okay.
I mean, who don't, right?
Right.
Yeah. But she doesn't invent them
Same.
whole cloth. So I said, okay, what we learned from Mia is because somebody suggests Mia called Ashley a gold digger, and I think Ashley's like, I didn't take it offensively or something like that. Like that gets raised. And then it pivots me up, but you're one to talk, right? And she's like, I had more money when I met Gordon than he did. And people were like, girl, you said he was tricking off on you, dropping 10. Wendy recalled dropping 10K per visit to, the boom boom room, the champagne room of your club. And I like how
Her
Candace tried to be.
whole intro narrative to the show was that I was a stripper and
Mhm.
Gordon was a high roller.
Exactly. And Candace tried to be politically correct. Like at the gentleman's club where you were underemployed, you encountered a young and when he was like, remember when you was tricking and then Gordon tricked off on you? You said that.
You called him a high roller, right? You said,
And it's like, thank you for reminding us because she did say that. Like we were all disoriented and then said, okay, the receipts. Please bring forward the receipts because she's lying. So then she's like, no. In the confessional, she clarifies for us the difference. There's a difference between cash and assets. I had more money in the bank than did Gordon when I met him, which is like, he's paying you 10K in cash. It don't make sense.
it's his money that you have in the bank.
But that's
Right.
because the production let her pass that up. They passed up an opportunity to ask her a more hard-hitting question that would have at least backed her into a corner.
Yes,
So,
a big opportunity. Instead, it's just vague. Oh, comment on that,
and she's, where'd I have my money from? I had an inheritance.
Everybody was like, inheritance? What girl? What?
Who
Everybody
said
at the
that?
table, not one person at the table was looking like, this is me. Are we talking about? What?
Not Wendy. NECA said, from who? Like, NECA as the new person was the only one to bother asking, like, well, then who gave you the inheritance, right? Which is like a very relevant question. But the other women said, girl, that's just me lying. Move on. Move on. She gonna lie. And you have
These
to
are the only moments where we see the women in community.
Oh
Okay.
God.
The who said that type of
around
moment.
lion ass Mia.
Yes.
United around a common enemy. Yes.
Girl, stop. Then
Yeah.
Mia gonna try to play it off. Well, I mean, it depends on how you define high roller. 10,000. That's not even. That's chump change. 10,000 a night.
Get out of here, please.
Shut up, you dumb viewer. Are you stupid?
Why'd you play our face?
And
Like,
again, part of
good.
her intro narrative was my mom's a crackhead. I, struggled in life.
Isn't her father dead?
Died. Yeah, he died and spent time in prison for abusing the mother, as I recall.
Or for using drugs? I doubt it was for abuse.
And in this very episode, Mia doubles down about having been the golf cart girl. Well, now, why did you work on the golf cart if you had an inheritance?
Because she's a hustler.
Okay, but here's how it might actually add up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna see.
The inheritance was from a sugar daddy who was passing, and he broke her off a little something because he was her best customer.
That has to be. I mean, that's just the only way because it wasn't
if
from
there's
when the
any
dad
truth
died.
to it. Exactly. Yeah.
And if there is truth to it, it was maybe that 1 month that you met Gordon. There happened to be,
it coincided with the time you were expecting your inheritance from your
Exactly. It
dead
wasn't
and
some
dying sugar daddy.
long-standing. You were high rolling.
Oh,
with
y'all
it.
labored so beautifully on behalf of that stripper heiress. Y'all did.
Well,
Nice.
if there is truth to it, we gotta find the place where it lives because sometimes there is. Sometimes. Okay, but the point of this whole discussion of the stripper heiress was for Ashley to say, I don't feel comfortable, in the game when I was being coy. I don't feel comfortable raising my sex life because out of respect for my still husband. Now, just for the record, I want to note they fucking, okay? She is
Yeah.
continuing to have sex with Michael Darby, and that's why she said that.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
They only
Okay.
live 7 minutes away from each other.
Yep.
Okay, so she then says, yeah, she calls it extracurricular.
Also, sorry, real quick, just on
Yeah.
that point, out of respect for him, but also her story of who she had sex with in January was an ex after she finished sexing or finished dating Luke. Old booty call an ex.
Oh!
And it wasn't in January. That wasn't the last time. Because by the time they're in DR, it must be May. It must be April.
Yeah.
It wasn't the last time she had sex.
Oh my gosh. I did not even, because how long is she? Yeah, it would have been an ex from like middle school.
Oh yeah.
No,
No, she wasn't with Michael since high school.
We met her at 26. She had been married.
Mm-hmm.
She met him at the bar when she was bartending.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe when she was still a teen, I wouldn't be surprised if Michael was plucking him right out of the crib, knowing his nasty ass.
Like
yeah,
he has
I mean, at
older
least
children who are basically my peers. So
she could have been working there when she was in college.
Yeah.
But I thought that was actually a very gracious moment again of Candace. I thought was so gracious this episode when Ashley is telling that story, like, and then I had to hit it and quit. Candace was affirming so actively, like, good on you, yeah,
for not being a serial monogamist. Yeah. Because she seems to really want for Ashley to like lean into her potential, and she might know better, but she really seems to think Ashley has a lot of potential, and I don't see it.
Again, I think it is an in-person. I mean, even in person, I don't think we would think that, but I think that they relate because they're similar ages and they've had fun together.
Or Candace, like the 8 that we know her to be, a lot of us have a Holden Caulfield complex where we are trying to preserve the innocence, and it often translates into save a tragic figure.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a similar complex. I must admit, I am constantly trying to save tragic figures, and maybe that's what's going on here.
Oh, I definitely, but I think that they've had fun together. That's how she's seen the potential, and she's like, "Let me."
And that's true.
And Ashley is the picture of tragedy. So
the picture. Okay, but so she then offers to a little taste of what she's been working on with her life coach, which production has not shown. We already addressed that, but we need to underline how ignorant these people are and how much they actually hate these women. Like, who else was surprised? Please raise your hand if you were surprised that Ashley's life coach was black.
I was shocked. I was like, they're gonna show the coach, and then
I know I was ready. And
yes, especially when she had Ashley singing songs, I was shocked.
And you know what this leads me to believe? I mean, and we tweeted this. Ashley is definitely jealous of Candace. That's what this all is. She said, I need a black woman to coach me into becoming, because she said, I see that black woman living in her truth, living in the full, like
she's
conviction, confident.
She's her confidence coach. She's not even her life, but she said, this is my confidence. I need to figure out how to siphon what you have so I can come do it better.
Black women have this primal, innate confidence, and I need that.
No, but
I'm not black.
I mean,
no, I think that's what.
I have a theoretical argument to support that very idea. Okay, we don't have to call it primal, and we don't have to call it innate. But the people with the best chances of being confident are Black women. Okay, I will advance in this paper. I will advance the claim. Okay, but it's like it's clear watching Candace that she is confident. Like,
Yeah.
she's confident enough to launch a singing career off of just a season on the show, because that's
Yeah.
actually when it got started. It was literally her first season. She was like scratching records in the studio. Then that's actually my favorite of the Candace song. The Go-Go remix. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay.
No, the Insecure one is the best.
Whatever.
Oh, if you got a problem, come and see me about it, talk about it, little nigga.
You make me want.
Oh, that one's also
fine,
good.
Okay, but I'm gonna
They're
play.
good songs.
I'm gonna play the Go-Go one for y'all and convert you soon
Yeah,
enough.
okay.
That one
Come.
is
Hear it
good.
again.
That is, yeah.
But let's return the spotlight to the girly who it's currently on, Ashley.
Or better yet, let's return the butter knife to the girlie who picked it up.
I want to say
And I'm thriving.
healing, thriving. I want to say this one thing though about how production doesn't show her at the confidence coach in general. The whole season, a plot line, and point against Ashley is that she is not moving towards a resolution with this divorce. She's, it's all a
Nothing,
lie.
nobody, tragic. Just
Yes,
not
and
even
it's
trying
like,
to pick herself up.
yes, she is actually seeking help. And that's not interesting. Nope, not funny. Nope.
Yeah.
So
They want a caricature out of her. What did I say? What did I say when the white gays get their hands on Black women? It's like, you can be a caricature. You'll be the messy one, and that's it. Nothing more to
And now
show
she's
of
like,
you.
maybe I should start growing beyond that. Do you want to check? Be Megan.
Do you want to check? Literally. So we were talking about the lyrics. The lyrics to this well-developed and lexically rich song, Ashley.
Oh my God.
I'm healing and I'm thriving. Okay, by the way, I can only sing it to Coffee and Love.
No, when I heard her sing it, I was like, "Is this ain't no stopping us now?"
No,
Like,
it's
definitely.
yes, it is. So
I
can
know
you
the
do it?
song.
Can you do it again? Can you do it for us?
I don't. I'm healing and I'm thriving. I don't remember.
You're doing it to Coffee and Love as well.
This is the thing.
Oh,
A little boppy like coffee and love. I don't remember how.
Coffee and Love. Okay, let me not
I
get it
also
stuck in your head.
want to point out that she wrote this song because her confidence coach challenged her to come up with a goal. Given the context of this conversation, divorce with Michael, and when I last had sex, etc., I thought her goal was to be like, get a divorce by X time. And then she comes out with, so I wrote a song.
So my goal is to be like Candace, okay? And I'm gonna show you all what I'm working with. I'm healing and I'm thriving. Wait, Kristen, what is the beat again?
I don't remember, but my favorite part is she had the little vocal tremble, like I'm healing and I'm thriving. Like you thought you was doing something, girl.
It was very helpful that she prefaced it with, I was a theater kid, because then it was like,
No, that was her trying to add legitimacy to the enterprise, so people wouldn't read her. No, so people wouldn't read her as copying Candace. She said, "I've been at this. Okay, I've been at this."
So I want to go back to music, like she was ever doing.
Exactly, and it's like, no, girl, theater kid, you have quite the potential in local community theater. Go ahead, but you should not hit a major stage with that singing voice.
Yeah, well, for me, it just was like, okay, I'm prepared for a goofy performance, and that's what I was given.
A very goofy song.
As a theater adjacent kid myself, I am resentful of that. Okay, because
I believe the term is a off-Broadway rascal. Okay.
Well, Ashley clearly was not taught by Dr. Bustrin. Moving on.
Clearly, she didn't get the Bustrin method.
nor did she have my stage mama. Okay. Shout out to all of my singing coaches from back in the day. I forget all of your names, and I think most of you were racist and mean to me, but you really set me on this path of academics and learning.
Yeah, and not singing at all.
They taught me to shut my mouth.
And open a book. Shout out to y'all. Y'all the real ones.
But okay, from now until the end of our illustrious episode, if y'all have suggestions for more appropriate verbs for Ashley and what Ashley has been up to, please offer them up in song.
Oh, I'm grifting and I'm lying.
Grifting and I'm flying. I've been through this.
I need to.
Did you say I've been through things?
Been through thick and thin. That's coffee and love.
Oh God.
Okay, so it's very important that after she sings this, Candace again, very gracious, like, oh, like, great, look at you, healing, thriving. Everybody responds that way, like, okay. And NECA is like, you see her across from Ashley, like, she goes, wait, that's actually great, like, because you've actually been healing and thriving like this whole time. And Ashley's sitting there like this.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you, babe. But then of course Giselle comes through with her just consolidating Ashley as part of the faction because a divorce is hard, and for a woman to pick up,
oh my God,
be by herself and take care of her kids shows that she's a bad bitch. And you Ashley have showed that you are a bad bitch. Ashley's like, thank you, Giselle.
The sign of a bad bitch is a divorcee. Okay.
Yes. You've proved it to yourself.
The three of us are children of divorcees, so whatever. It's fine. I'm gonna give you that for now. But once again, you are trying to self-authorize. Like, you are not a bad bitch, Giselle.
And you know who had the closing word on this scene? Letting her slip show, our resident episode 8. Candace said, follow your gut. Whatever you do, be led by and directed by your gut.
Triad. I know.
That's triad.
Yes. Now, I actually do not think that's going to be as a 7. That's not going to be Ashley's challenge. Although, yeah, in a way, like, they could all, like, if you're not in the gut, you could stand to lean into the gut. If you're in the gut, you might go to the heart. The gut doesn't need to go to the head. They need to go to the heart, frankly.
I think the 7's issue is they can't locate the gut because they're too in the head.
Okay, right, because they're right on the cusp, right? They would be. That's why Candace will be the one to guide her into enlightenment. Because for now, she's scheming and conniving.
She's scheming. Oh, I love it. We're gonna have to re-record some Mind You opening theme songs with this.
It's coffee and love. Oh my God, that would be, I could not live that down. Please no.
Oh wow, we gotta drink.
I actually.
Dear God, the keyboard is wet, everyone.
I know. I almost said it, and I was like, I don't need to say it.
This episode will end in no.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, it was a quite embarrassing little lunch scene. Then, okay, we leave off with the women on the beach again. Wait, is this where they took pictures? Did we get?
They did their photo shoot.
They had a photo shoot. It was Robin's suggestion. It was, cute. It was also, this was production being dirty too, but it was funny when Mia goes, "Oh, do we have a photographer?"
Yeah, I agree because it was like, oh, shut up, like, out comes a local photographer who's gonna y'all were not prepared for a real photo shoot, so your iPhones will do. Okay,
that's so true. They would have been upset if it was a real photographer because they
because only Candace would have slayed. Okay, with that little
all right body.
The way I love to see Candace in some swimwear or just anything fitted. Sorry, my bad.
So yeah, no, it actually looked like a very cute, reminiscent of a real show where things happen and people are liking each other to an extent. Um,
And despite it being Robin's idea, she's just like fully clothed on a cabana, like
laying on the couch. She was like, she
Yes.
laid down on the couch and said, "What's on TV? Like, what episode we on?" Okay.
Yes.
literally.
She was in her mom mode. And then at a certain point, the pictures died down. Other people join her seated, and she starts stirring the pot.
It's just Mia and Giselle with her in the little on the cabana, on the little day bed. And Robin goes, "Did y'all see?" Like you could see she's staring off into the distance. Like before her is the beautiful crystal waters of East Haiti. And what does her face do? It goes, I'm angry and miserable. Y'all remember last night when Wendy and Candace were making faces at each other all night? And I want us to note the wording she used. Turning up their noses.
Like some uppity negresses?
Like some uppity negresses. Like some uppity turning up their noses? That would imply a kind of elitist regard for the mere mention of their child graduating and go. That's not what happened.
But you know why that's heavy on Robin's heart? Because when they were in Austin and she broke down, that was the truth of the charge that she had against Candace. Her standard for friendship is so high, and it's like, unless you're perfect, then she just won't let you be, and I just can't live up to the standard. So she does regard Candace as an uppity negress. She obviously regards Wendy that way from seasons past.
And it's just the charge of elitism. But I guess for me, the charge of elitism might easily be levied at any of the women. And I'm not endorsing it, okay? Very against the elitism that underpins the show. But we're in the milieu, right? So if we want to say who's more elitist, who's motivated, or where pointed out where we find it, that's not what's happening at that table. Like, okay, could she have said Wendy was turning up her nose in the context of I wouldn't send my children? I wouldn't really call that. I would call that being enmeshed in the elitism of the mid-Atlantic and northeastern states, potentially by trying to act like there was some sort of haven from racism where they actually live. Maybe. But in terms of the faces they were making, because that's what Robin's comments were directed at, not Wendy's intervention, their faces they were making, which were smirks, as we already addressed.
If anything, the faces were kiddish faces. It was like when you're sitting across from your friend and the teacher's talking, you know?
And I think and I think the key thing about saying turning up your noses in relation to the browner women on the cast is that this is exactly why rabidly racist America doesn't like Wendy. They're just like, with her degrees and she thinks she's smart. God forbid she should think she's smart. You want her to show up like a coon and beg for your approval. That's why you don't like her. Okay.
She has a competing set of values that make it hard for the judgment people base off of her to stick. That's not right.
Like, and somebody literally tried it with these fucking haters and said, now, what did Wendy do? And they were like, isn't it obvious what Wendy did? And they were like, no, enlighten us. And this is a white woman, and she was like, I'm imagining her face. Shut up. Like, she disappeared from the comments, okay? This little anti-Wendy warrior disappeared when asked what it is that Wendy did for you to call her so nasty. And then someone said, oh, and then they proceeded to list every transgression of Giselle. Is that what Wendy did? Is that what Wendy did? Is that what Wendy did? Because it is unequivocal to the majority of us with sense. Giselle's the bully. Giselle is the nasty one. Well, this turn up your noses, it's racially coded. It is the uppity Negro critique.
Wendy is so far from anyone who's even capable of being a bully that it's really laughable.
Yeah.
But that's where we're ending it, because to be continued on this line of thinking.
More of that soon. We're gonna see where this argument goes because we see Wendy approach them for a confrontation. We'll see what happens.
Yes, and please in the comments, let us know, what are y'all looking forward to for the reunion? Like, we need redress, and where are we going to get it? Because I was reading through the comments of Andy's call for questions, and everybody, woo, thank God for the people, because everybody is bringing this energy like, when y'all gonna address production's favoritism? When y'all gonna address the colorism charges that you will never beat? When y'all gonna address Giselle's bad and tired and exhausting behavior? What are y'all looking forward to seeing most?
Okay, well, I'll go to the shrine on that one. And hopefully Andy speaks, asks our questions.
You'll probably ignore him, but we'll see. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. Bye.